Welcome to the after show and Verdicts and Vibes edition, Pebbles.
Oh, okay.
Because
all right.
not only is Melissa from Verdicts and Vibes here, but the verdicts of Verdicts and Vibes is here.
Yes.
Attorney Chris Brown.
Hey, what's going on?
The only person you should really trust when you listen to our podcast. Right here in the flesh.
You be giving some. Let me not.
Listen, you better not. Stop it.
No, we have fun. We really
So-
do
That's
have
what's
fun.
up.
Really quickly, Chris and I met back in the day when, and we're actually going to discuss this on this week's podcast, when a random listener put out a lawsuit against me.
Whoa.
Yes. And this is how, and Chris ended up representing me.
Yeah. Who reached out to who?
I reached out to him, I think, because he was friends with one of my exes.
Oh, okay.
Who
Is
kind
that
of?
how we met?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think
Hey,
so.
you telling the story?
No, I'm
I'm just going to say yes.
So I told him what was happening. I remember getting, and again, we're going to get into this, but like I got a summons in the mail from someone I didn't know for a reason that I didn't understand. And it was 3 months until the court date. So I reached out to him and I'm like, what the hell is this? And you didn't even really know what it was, right? But
I'd
by
never
the
seen anything
description,
like this.
yeah, it said something along the lines of harassment recording device or something.
The story is apparently you were harassing her family through the airwaves, and you were somehow harming them because whatever you were saying was creating, I guess, some domestic issues in their home.
What were you saying, Melissa?
That's what I want to know.
We don't know. We still don't know to
And
this
you
day.
were doing this through the radio.
Through the radio.
Yes.
So basically, it was a crazy person
Yes.
A crazy person
who filed a lawsuit.
A federal type, device claim suing Melissa for what was going on in the house and the radio station. If I
Yes,
remember
because when we
correctly.
got to the court, we had to sit in front of a magistrate, which in like a
You
boardroom.
made it to court?
It
Yeah.
was a trial. There was literally a trial.
He was
What?
with me. That's what that was?
That was a trial.
did
That's why
you
I
know
kept.
that?
That's why I
Why
kept
did you
telling
tell
you
me
to
that?
shut up. How many times did I tell
When
you to shut up?
you didn't think you were on
He
trial?
told me to shut up. He
Oh
told
my
me to shut up like
gosh, how
10
many
times.
Hold on. You walked into a courtroom?
It wasn't a courtroom. It looked like our boardroom here.
Okay.
It was like a conference
See,
room.
well, okay. When you are walking into these district courts, it's not like you walked into the federal court where you got marble and everything is
Yeah.
No, that's not. When you walk into district court, they take you into these side rooms where the magistrates, after you leave the courtroom, will then hear your case. And it's kind of like an old dusty box, depending on what district court you are in. And we were in, was it Roxbury?
I think so.
I think it was in Roxbury District Court, which,
Lord.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
next
not
to the
the
Boys and
best.
Girls Club?
Yeah.
But everything leading up to that situation, like you never at one point
No.
realized.
I had
That just goes to
sleepless
show you
nights.
about your attention span.
She
Wait.
was scared to death.
I had
Let's
sleepless
just be
nights
honest.
for 3 months over this.
She was scared to death.
I didn't know what the hell was happening. I'm like, who's suing me? What did I do wrong? And then the entire time, he's right. He was telling me to shut up because I kept trying to defend myself because she was explaining.
God.
She was mentioning you. She mentioned a couple of other DJs that were on with
Yeah.
us at the time.
Oh, we got shout outs, fellas.
Hey!
And
Did you defend us?
She didn't remember anything I told her beforehand, which is basically
Shut
say
up.
nothing. I got it.
I was
And
scared.
I remember it. She's looking at me like, okay.
Melissa's being one of those crazy people that defends himself. in
Yeah,
court.
Yes.
Yeah.
This happened
Oh, my God.
right after we started working here. And I just kept saying, I don't work there anymore. That's all I kept saying. He's like, shut up. Like at one point, it got so bad, right, that the magistrate herself told me to shut up because she knew the
My
girl was
God.
crazy. She knew the girl was crazy. And she looked at me and she just went like this, like, stop talking. And we were in there for what, 5 minutes?
It was a little bit longer than that. The magistrate asked a couple questions, and then I asked a couple questions, and that's when it became really known that this woman was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Then the magistrate came back after I did my questioning, with you interrupting both of us, trying to correct her answers. And I'm sitting there.
I was so scared.
If I would have had a pen in my hand, I'd have jabbed her in her leg so
He
many
tried
times.
to.
But we just didn't get there. So eventually the magistrate said, okay, I got it. And asked her a series of questions, and then it was over.
Yeah.
But we literally we were maybe inside for maybe 20, 25 minutes. We probably had to wait like 2 hours.
Remember, she almost didn't show up.
She almost
We
didn't
didn't
show
think
up.
she was
Yep.
showing up. It was the time, and she wasn't there yet. So I'm like, do you think she's gonna? But the thing about this and what we're going to cover on this week's episode is anyone can sue anyone for anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
It just
You can
costs
indict
money.
a ham sandwich.
I can't believe you made it that far. That's impressive. You
Isn't that
win.
crazy?
I mean, I've been sued, but like it never got that
Oh,
far.
really?
Oh yeah, I got sued by, I forget. One time I was up talking with a lawyer about it, but it wasn't attorney Chris Brown. But you know, we were giving him our side of the story, but he ended up basically making them drop the case because it was ridiculous.
Okay.
Another guy, he was in jail and he wanted to sue me. I don't know. He died. So that never
okay.
went. Yeah. And there was probably about 3 or 4 situations, but they never went as far as like me going into court.
Yeah.
Like facing off with the person. Because they were all BS. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like, oh, he has this thing against me. He's picking on me. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
are you kidding me? Listen to freaking a week's worth of shows and you're going to find 30 different people that I'm harassing.
Yeah.
I could sue for that.
You guys could sue me because you guys get it probably more than anybody.
Chris,
Get him, Pebs.
no.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him, Pebs.
But no, in reality, though, how much does it cost? Let's just say I want to sue someone for, I say, defamation.
Well, from start to finish, now that's not something that we would be doing in Roxbury District,
Right.
just so you know.
Okay.
But if you want to sue someone for defamation, it actually depends on how much your damages are. You know, what have you lost? I actually had a situation where a film producer lost a $4 million directorship on a Billy Bob Thornton film because of something that someone said that was completely false. So we sued.
Oh.
Oh.
And we eventually won a judgment in that case for $4 million. The
What?
complete amount of the contract that he lost. You know, so it really does depend. But to start an action, particularly in federal court, you pay your filing fee. You know, it's $405 to pay your filing fee. But then the real work is how much do you have to pay your lawyer?
Yep.
From that retainer to the hourly rate. You know, so many people just think everything is on a contingency in this world, and that's just not what it is. You know, particularly for a guy like me, no, we ain't doing that.
Yep.
That's not. I'm not chasing ambulances. I'm not doing any of that. You know, when you really then take that to court from soup to nuts to start, people understanding there's a complaint, there's a discovery process, there's a trial. That could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll give you an example. When I did one copyright case in the Southern District of New York, we beat the other side so bad the judge said they have to pay that client's legal fees solely on the copyright claim. And there were other claims in the case, but just on the copyright claim, it was $117,000.
Damn.
So on the other side had to pay.
Ooh, child.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about the Damon Dash or no?
Well, I'm not going to do that because
Okay,
there's
all right.
other things in the works right now.
Oh, okay. That's
that,
why I
you
wanted
know,
to ask first. All right. Never
You know,
mind.
I don't know. Lifetime may be calling. I may have to put that in.
Oh, okay.
You know,
All right.
BET may be calling.
Okay.
You know, we have to figure it out. But I'm going to go back to your case though, because I still remember this like it was yesterday.
I don't.
No,
I
I'm
blocked it out.
You're going to remember this one. As the woman initially began to testify, it became clear to her who was actually sitting next to me. And the woman automatically became starstruck and said,
Did she?
yeah, and looked at Melissa like, oh my God.
I don't remember.
Oh,
that.
I remember it.
What?
And then the lady was so crazy
you
on the
there?
way out.
Ramiro, you don't understand.
She was scared. She was shaking the whole
I
time.
was so. This shook me to my core for months.
Wow.
I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I'm like, am I going to get thrown in jail? What did I over something I didn't realize I did?
Imagine
I didn't
Melissa in
know.
It's
jail.
like everything I told Melissa was gone.
Yeah.
None of it remained in her head at that moment.
Oh,
But
that's
then
funny.
at the end, the security guard saw all of us as we're walking out because as you're coming out of this little side dingy area where you just had a little trial,
Yeah.
we're coming out, and the woman was about to walk towards Melissa. And I'm sitting here like, is she really going down trying to ask her for an autograph or something? It's kind of what's going on in
Was
my
she
head.
trying to kick my ass?
Well, the security guard stepped in and was like, and directed her out so that she could not head directly to where Melissa and I were standing.
The old man in New Jack City.
And then I told her, I said, stop. We're going to sit here for 5 minutes. She's like, why? So
I
what-
do remember that.
Oh, now you remember.
Now
That's
I
like, we're
remember
gonna sit
that.
here.
I remember you saying
So
you need to sit
naive.
here first. Yeah.
Let her get all the way where she's
Right,
going,
right, right. I
and
do
then
remember
we're
that.
going to leave the courthouse.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I'm kind of pretty good at it.
Listen,
You know,
I saw a documentary called New Jack City where at the end of it, an old man who had beef
You
with
reap
this
what
guy.
you sow.
Yeah, and he shot him right there after he
That
got
was great.
off. All right, well, listen.
All right.
You guys can keep talking if you want, but I got to go.
Yeah, we're gonna record our next episode.
right.
So we'll get more in depth.
Oh, okay.
On the next episode of Verdicts and Vibes. Every Thursday, new
Yeah.
episode.
I'm glad
on-
we can get a small mention for your showing.
Thank you.
the Get Up Crew
Yes.
edition of Verdicts
Yes,
and Vibes. That's what
Apple
we
and
do.
Spotify.
Very nice.
Let's go.
Thank you. Like and subscribe.